Virtual Universe Network's Heavenly Bridge. 3 silhouettes appeared simultaneously on the beautiful island. They were all absolute warriors of the Virtual Universe Company. True Yin Emperor, Tong Nan Emperor, Jade Emperor. The watchman Bevan bowed respectfully. Has Luo Feng's battle on the 3rd level begun? Jade ordered. It's about to begin. He's just reached the end of the 3rd level. The overseer Bevan said. The overseer of the entire Heavenly Bridge was Bevan. He was the most familiar with everyone's situation on the Heavenly Bridge. Even True Yin King, Tong Nan King, and other super experts were unable to directly observe the battles on the Heavenly Bridge. Everything depended on Bevan. Play the footage of him on the sky-crossing bridge, polished Jade said solemnly. Yes. The watchman Bevan waved his hand and immediately a 10 m long 8 m wide screen appeared. On it was an image of the Heavenly Bridge and a ball of white mist. Luo Feng was standing on the bridge looking at the white mist. It's about to begin. Jade's eyes gleamed. Looking at him he seems pretty confident. True Yin smiled. This time he probably won't be in close combat. Tong Nan Emperor replied. The 3 absolute beings were all watching the screen. Jade was here on 9 Blade Knight's orders to see which of the newbies had the most potential. Tong Nan Emperor followed Jade and True Yin. True Yin was the only one who truly wanted this. Similarly, the youths studying the 9 Universe tablet had more potential. Let me see your 10 years of improvement. I knew that recommending you to practice floating blood was the right decision, True Yin thought to himself. At the end of the 3rd level. I choose. Luo Feng looked at the ball of mist before him. Controller. The huge mist at the end of the bridge was the same as the previous 2 levels. As the black liquid flew out, it formed a black-clothed man. This black-clothed man stood on a dark cloud shuttle and carried a dark golden long rod on his back. The only eye revealed under the mask locked onto Luo Feng. You want to pass the 3rd level? Right. Luo Feng smiled. Boom, suddenly golden air waves erupted around his body, and the dark golden long staff behind him instantly shot out strings of golden light, instantly condensing into 9 golden swords in the golden air waves. These 9 golden swords were like a foundation, resonating with one another, causing countless sword chi to erupt, as if they were an army under command. Nan Shen Armament's 3rd stage, Heavenly Sword Stance, also known as the Sword Domain. Compared to before, Luo Feng could already control the blade domain as though it was his own arm. The energy within the domain could fuse into one. Heavenly Sword Style? The man in black sneered. Rumble golden air waves erupted around the black-clothed man. In an instant, a similar sword domain was formed. Pung, pung. Every time the 2 spherical sword domains collided, countless sword chis would clash against each other. Don't think that you can easily pass the 3rd floor just because you passed the 2nd floor. The black-clothed man stood in midair and sneered. The 3rd level is much harder than the 2nd level. Go. Pointing at Luo Feng, immediately out of the 9 blades in the blade domain, 8 of them immediately merged together, gold threads flowed and formed a misty huge blade. Luo Feng's sword domain was immediately broken. That huge golden blade was like a huge ship breaking through the waves. Go. Luo Feng pointed. The surrounding 9 blades simultaneously closed in, large amounts of complex gold threads flowed and swiftly formed a huge golden blade. With a rumble, Luo Feng controlled the huge golden blade and the opponent's huge blade clashed in midair. In the blink of an eye they had clashed a few thousand times. Just relying on 8 blades as one and you want to defeat me? Luo Feng looked at the distant black-clothed man in midair. Haha, don't rush. With an insolent laugh, since you're so eager to die, I'll satisfy you. Immediately the last golden blade around the black-clothed man merged into the huge golden blade, causing the misty huge blade to grow in size. Luo Feng and the black-clothed man both had 9 blades as one. However, the outer layer of the huge golden blade was different. Luo Feng's was slightly bigger, and the golden blade controlled by the black-clothed man was more compact, with more golden threads and was slightly smaller. You'll lose for sure. The black-clothed man's eyes burned with flames. Rumble. The 2 huge golden blades clashed once again. Luo Feng's huge golden blade was immediately knocked back. The black-clothed man immediately controlled the huge golden blade to stab at Luo Feng. It's indeed powerful. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He stepped on the dark cloud shuttle and with a flash, a total of 100 images appeared around him. These 100 images had already completely enveloped a 1000 m diameter area, and his movement had already reached a level that made people's hearts tremble. Every dodge was shockingly fast. So, almost like lightning, the opponent's huge golden blade couldn't even catch up to his true body. Simultaneously Luo Feng controlled the huge golden blade to block. Rumble. Clash after clash, in terms of attack, Luo Feng seemed to always be at a disadvantage. However, in terms of movement, just relying on it, Luo Feng was actually able to dodge the huge golden blade's attacks. It was unbelievable. On the beautiful central island, the tall and sturdy True Yin Emperor, the skinny Tong Nan Emperor, the beautiful Jade Emperor all laughed as they watched the broadcast. Haha, this punk, he actually treated the Heavenly Bridge as a learning opportunity. True Yin laughed loudly. Jade nodded. His movement has reached the 3rd level of 10,000 thread, 100 thread. Just with the 100 thread movement, he wouldn't be able to dodge the Nan Shen Armament's attacks so easily. The main thing is this Luo Feng, his movement, has obviously touched upon the foundations of the universe space laws. Every time he moves, he reaches the essence. Right, he's already truly grasped the basics. Tong Nan Emperor nodded. The foundations of the universe space laws, he's already grasped a little. Tru Yin smiled and nodded. What level of strength did the three of them have? They were all emperors, existences that could immediately become permanent residents of Primal Chaos City. Compared to that God General 13, compared to the Unimo Planet Master, they were far beyond. If Luo Feng could be said to have grasped a little of the universe space laws, then the three of them had already entered the foundations of the space or time laws. They were just a little away from completely grasping it. Naturally they could see Luo Feng's accomplishments. Grasping a little of the origin law essence, as long as he doesn't fall, his future accomplishments won't be bad. Jade smiled and exclaimed. Look, his movement is so beautiful, that movement arc. It's so precise, it's following the ripples of space. Tru Yin exclaimed and praised. Even that Bolin who trains in both space and time, can instantly unleash close to 10,000 images, that movement arc isn't so perfect and precise. Jade smiled and nodded. Luo Feng unleashed the 100-thread movement. According to his grasp of the space origin laws, every time the opponent's golden huge blade attacked, he would be able to follow the most intricate and exquisite path to dodge. It was almost like following the currents in the ocean, using the most energy-efficient method to swim. The 9 blades he unleashed as one compared to mine, there's indeed a difference. Luo Feng relied on the heavenly blade formation and movement to block, simultaneously carefully observing how the opponent unleashed the Nan Shen Armament. Firstly, the 9 blades he controls are more closely linked. This is because his comprehension of the raindrop picture is stronger than mine. Secondly, after the 9 blades fuse into one, his attacks are erratic, the 9 concepts are constantly changing, it's unpredictable. Hence, just relying on the 9 blades as one, I can't block it at all. Luo Feng thought, obviously his 9 blades as one. The 9 blades each represent the different concepts of the raindrop picture, interchanging, mysterious from the heart. And I'm still unable to do that. My only advantage is, I've already grasped a little of the origin law essence. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Alright, let's end this. In midair, that black-clothed man was already raging. If you have the ability, don't dodge, what's the point of always dodging? Then, Luo Feng suddenly stopped, the images vanished. The black-clothed man was overjoyed. Go and die. Luo Feng pointed coldly at the opponent. Shio. The blade that pierced through his throat swung upwards, immediately splitting the black-clothed man's head open. Fresh blood splattered everywhere. Too fast. The black-clothed man's eyes stared wide. Before he could even speak, he died, becoming a black liquid that entered the white mist. Illusionary 7 blades. Dutchman's pipe. Right, it's fast. Luo Feng flipped his hand and placed the blood shadow blade in front of him. He gently blew on it, causing the beads of blood on the blade to roll off. There was a hint of a smile in his eyes, a flash in the pan. Following the essence of the ripples in space, this blade is truly fast, truly ruthless. Comprehending the first wonder of the space laws, this blade of Luo Feng's was worthy of the name Dutchman's pipe. As for the other 6 blades, they were just formless. 3rd level. Luo Feng watched as the white mist dissipated, extending towards the 3rd level of the heavenly bridge. This 3rd level, I can't be too flashy, blade techniques are after all what the Masha clansman specializes in. The 3rd level, I'll use the Nan Shen Armament. Luo Feng thought within, his earth body's strongest weapon was still the spirit weapon, after which he swiftly rushed into the sky, following the 3rd level and heading towards the end. Primal Chaos City, Tong Nan Emperor's residence. Tru Yin, Tong Nan Monarch and Jade Monarch sat together. Leaving so early? Tru Yin was shocked. I've been in Primal Chaos City for close to 20 days, I've already observed everything. Bolin and Rongjun are the most exceptional, the others all have their own specialties. Jade smiled lightly, it's time to return and meet the knight. Tong Nan frowned slightly. Tru Yin suddenly frowned and exclaimed in surprise. What's wrong? Tong Nan and Jade looked over shocked. It's that punk Luo Feng, he's past the 2nd level. Tru Yin couldn't hide his joy, smiling. Just now? 2nd level? Jade nodded. This Luo Feng is after all one of the top, he should have passed the 2nd level long ago. Even though he's lagging behind the others, he's still lagging behind a little. Wuka and Shen Shui only passed the 2nd level in their 9th year. No, he passed the 2nd level in close combat. Tru Yin said. Close combat. Both Monarch Tong Nan and Monarch Jade were shocked. There were specializations in every field. A master was a master and a martial artist was a martial artist. The strong all focused on one area and this genius Luo Feng was a controller. Just close combat and he passed the 2nd level? His close combat ability isn't any weaker than Wuka or Long Yun. Jade's eyes gleamed. Let's go, let's hurry to the heavenly bridge. Let's go. Tong Nan Emperor said too, at least Jade wasn't leaving for now. Haha, I had high hopes for him back then, he's not normal right? Tru Yin laughed loudly within he muttered, this punk, even in close combat he's comparable to Long Yun and Wuka, he's a monster. The 3 absolute beings' consciousness immediately entered the virtual universe network's heavenly bridge. The absolute beginning region belonged to Rongjun's personal training grounds, this was a simulation of a bustling universe city. On the balcony of a skyscraper. I've been in Primal Chaos City for over 10 years. Barefooted, messy-haired Rongjun wielded the earth splitter blade as he stood at the top of the skyscraper, surveying the city below. This was a city he was extremely familiar with, a city with beautiful memories. Father. Rongjun muttered softly. How long? How long until I become an undying? How long until I can regain my name? How long until I can kill that bastard? Rongjun said softly, Father, I can't bear it from the bottom of my heart. His eyes were filled with tears. Endure. I will endure. In the virtual universe company I will definitely be the most exceptional of my generation. Right now I'm weaker than Bolin, but in 50 years, 100 years, 1000 years I will definitely surpass him. Until one day when I have the strength to personally kill that bastard, I will go to his capital star and barge into his god country, destroying everything he has, making him regret before his death. He clenched his fists, tears in his eyes. This hatred was etched deep into his soul. Every once in a while he couldn't help but vent it out. Rumble. Rongjun waved his hand. Immediately the simulation vanished, returning to the vast training grounds. Teacher demonstrated the first axe for me. As long as I pass the 3rd level, I will at least be able to listen to the other huge axe tablet seniors' lessons. My improvement speed will definitely increase. Rongjun thought, with my strength I should be able to pass the 3rd level in 1 or 2 years. Right now I only have one goal, to surpass Bolin. Rongjun thought. As for the others, they were no longer a threat because Rongjun passed the 2nd level in his 4th year in Primal Chaos City. This speed far surpassed the others. Rongjun looked down curiously at the screen on his arm. There was a new mail, causing him to be suspicious. Oh, it's the Watchman Bevan's mail. Did someone break through again? The others passed the 2nd level slower than me. The 3rd level is much harder than the 2nd. They can't be earlier than me. Could it be Bolin? But Bolin just passed the 4th level half a year ago. The further he goes, the faster he goes, at least another 10 years before he has hope of passing the 5th level. Rongjun, who was suspicious, ordered softly, open it. The email was automatically opened. LuoFeng, this is the first time in 10 years attempting the Heavenly Bridge. He's just consecutively passed the 2nd and 3rd levels. He's currently attempting the 4th. Rongjun's eyes widened. Oh my god. You've passed the 3rd level? Rongjun didn't dare to believe it. I passed the 1st and 2nd level faster than him, and I even had a teacher to guide me. How is it possible? Lunatic. Rongjun's widened eyes were filled with shock. Heaven and Earth region. In the garden of one of the villas, a black-robed Jialai Shi appeared out of thin air. There's mail? Jialai Shi pointed at the air in front of him and a screen appeared. A mail appeared on the screen and he opened it. The content of the email was very simple. How is this possible? In a villa next to Jialai Shi, the fat giant, Tao, looked at the screen in front of him in shock and anger. He growled, madman, that madman. He actually attempted the Heavenly Bridge for the first time in nearly 10 years. He passed the 2nd and 3rd level in one go. Madman, he really is a madman. Impossible. The handsome, long green-haired absolute beginning member Jiang Mo with engravings on his face stared in shock at the screen. I didn't even pass the 2nd level, he actually passed the 3rd? Before Luo Feng exploded, amongst the geniuses, Bolin had passed the 4th level, Rongjun and the other 7 had passed the 2nd level, the rest had all passed the 1st level. One had to know. Amongst the 7 that had passed the 2nd level, Long Yun was from the Primal region, while Tao, Jialai Shi and Gusi Luo were from the Heaven and Earth region. Only Rongjun, Chen Shui and Wuka belonged to the Absolute Beginning region. This meant that the others who had entered the Absolute Beginning region back then, Jiang Mo, Lancelot and Ai Chen, had only passed the 1st level. How did this madman improve so much? Our Heaven and Earth region has close to 100 people. The difference between us and this madman isn't that huge. How did it become like this? When LuoFeng's sudden explosion of news shocked the group of geniuses who had been secretly competing, Luo Feng had already begun his 4th level battle. A grey gale howled, shrouding the sky-crossing bridge. Luo Feng stood on the bridge, his eyes under his helmet gazing at the tornado at the end of the bridge. A voice resounded from the tornado, choose your opponent, fighter, controller, hypnotist, pick anyone. Defeat them and you can begin the 5th level. Controller. Luo Feng said immediately. Rumble. A silhouette suddenly flew out of the tornado. He was dressed in a silver-white armor and white boots. He stood on the dark cloud shuttle and carried a dark golden long rod on his back. His eyes under the silver-white mask stared at Luo Feng from afar. According to Floating Blood's description, the further one goes, the harder it gets. Luo Feng thought, I wonder just how strong this 4th level is. As Floating Blood had a simple description of the Heavenly Bridge, Luo Feng had some confidence in passing the 3rd level. As for the 4th, he had no confidence at all. Even if he had no confidence, he still had to try. Silver-armored man, I hope you bring out your strongest strength. Luo Feng shouted. Strongest? The silver-armored man stood on the dark cloud shuttle and said solemnly, I only know one move. If you can block it, I'll lose. Only know one move? Luo Feng was stunned. Take this. The silver-armored man pointed at Luo Feng. Simultaneously the dark golden long rod on his back shot out a blur of countless little golden blades. Right, it was simply a blur. Large amounts of little golden blades floated before the silver-armored man, simultaneously infused with origin law energy floated and connected. 1,600 little golden blades. LuoFeng's gaze swept and quickly determined the exact number. Soul consciousness at LuoFeng's level, even though it wasn't as AI, it was at least much stronger than the computers of Earth. The entire Nan Shen Armament has a total of 10,081 little blades. The 9th level of the Nan Shen Armament uses all the little blades to form the most terrifying attack. Luo Feng thought. He used 1600 little blades that should be the 4th level. The Nan Shen Armament's 3rd level, Heavenly Blade Formation, required 9 golden blades to float. Every blade was formed from 81 little blades. Hence, the 3rd level used a total of 729 little blades. The Nan Shen Armament's 4th level, Great Skill, required 1,600 little blades to form a thick golden pillar that was close to 10 m tall, almost like the pillar of the large hall. To use the 4th level at Universe Level 1, Great Skill, it was definitely unparalleled in the universe and hard to find a worthy opponent. Before the silver-armored man, the 1,600 little golden blades were separated from each other. Countless complicated golden threads intertwined, the entire golden pillar's surface formed a very complicated picture, almost like a totem pole. Nan Shen Armament's 4th level. Great skill. This? No wonder there's only one move. LuoFeng stared. The 4th level is actually so difficult. To form a totem pole, the requirements for space and gold are extremely high. It's basically completely integrating the blade domain within the totem pole. Just a casual smash would have unbelievable power. The totem pole's power was extremely high. The moment it was formed, a casual smash could smash mountains and shatter mountains, seas and tsunamis. Take this. The silver-armored man roared softly. I want to see just how strong this move is. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and unleashed the 100-thread movement. His movements were already like a ghost. While dodging, he swiftly controlled the Heavenly Blade Formation's 9 blades into one. That huge golden blade immediately drew an arc and pierced towards the silver-armored man. Peeking into the essence of the space laws, Luo Feng's attacks were extremely fast. Before, when he used the illusionary 7 blades, Dutchman's pipe to pass the 2nd level, the 2nd level opponent could only use his 2 blades to madly revolve around his body to block. Finally, he was lucky enough to meet Luo Feng's blade. However, following that, Luo Feng's bayonet slash seemed simple. However, it was so fast that the opponent couldn't even react. When he passed the 3rd level, he was similarly ridiculously fast. Along with his consciousness strength advantage, he was able to suppress the opponent. Rumble. The huge totem pole immediately rolled over. The surrounding space was slightly pressured. At this time, the totem pole seemed to be pressuring space itself. Peng. The totem pillar was simply too huge. With just a slight roll, it traversed a huge distance and collided with Luo Feng's huge golden blade. With a peng sound, the huge golden blade was smashed apart, splitting into 9 golden blades. Hoo. The totem pole in mid-air immediately swept out. The pressure from the space even affected Luo Feng's movements. Too fast. Luo Feng couldn't dodge at all. The totem pole immediately clashed with his body. Passing the 4th level, failure. Heavenly Bridge, center of the island. Tru Yen, Jade and Tong Nan Emperor watched the floating screen before them. The battle description was slow, however it ended in a few seconds. It's normal for him to lose. Tru Yen nodded. Tong Nan Emperor evaluated. The Nan Shen Armament has a total of 9 levels which can be split into 3 parts. 1st to 3rd, 4th to 6th, 7th to 9th. The 3rd level is still at least at the 1st level. And the 4th level's power has obviously risen tremendously. It's normal for him to lose. He's only been training in Primal Chaos City for 10 years. We can't ask for too much. Jade smiled. In just 10 years he's already grasped the essence of the space laws. His consciousness strength is also so strong. An unexpected gain. This Luo Feng is an unexpected gain from my trip here this time. He's stronger than that Rong Jun. From what I see, he might even surpass Bolin in the future. Tru Yen said directly. Haha. It's still early, don't be too happy. Bolin's lead from the start is too big. Both Tong Nan and Jade Monarch laughed. Anyway, I have high hopes for him. Tru Yen said. At this time, in the center of the island, a silhouette appeared Rong Jun. Following which, the fat giant Tao Wuka, one after another appeared. Tru Yen Emperor, Tong Nan Emperor and Jade Emperor, seeing the group of youths arrive on the island, they couldn't help but laugh, simultaneously leaving the virtual universe and vanishing. Mr. Bevan. Wuka shouted. Luo Feng passed the 3rd level? The group of human youths looked at the watchman Bevan. The watchman Bevan smiled. Yes, just now. And the 4th level? Savage Rong Jun asked. Immediately the other youths all held their breaths. Luo Feng passing the 3rd level was already something they had to look up to. If he passed the 4th, the group would probably collapse. No matter how big the gap was, it shouldn't be this ridiculous. He didn't succeed. The watchman Bevan said. It's still alright. The group let out a sigh of relief, at least this gave them the courage to chase, however after which many of them felt helpless. They were all absolute geniuses of the universe, and now they were being forced to the point where they felt like they couldn't catch up. Before coming to Primal Chaos City, the gap between us wasn't that big, now I haven't even passed the 2nd level and he's passed the 3rd. Jiang Mo gripped his fist. Shrouded in chaos energy, the ancient city that had existed for trillions of years, Primal Chaos City. I'm really not used to long hair. Luo Feng waved his hand, a sharp aura emanated from his palm, swiftly trimming his hair short. After which he jumped down from the balcony and landed in the alley. Luo Feng, you've consecutively passed the 2nd and 3rd levels, now you've gained 6,000 points, and 2 more chances to study the Primal Chaos Tablet, how are you going to distribute them? Babata's voice resounded in his mind. I've passed the 3rd level, then I have the right to attend the classes of the warriors in Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng smiled. As for these 6,000 points, I can't use them recklessly because I'm a newbie, hence I have 10 times the reward after I leave Primal Chaos City. I'm afraid it'll be very hard to get more points. I can only get them according to the methods the Virtual Universe Company requires, hence I have to save them. As for the 2 chances, it's been close to 10 years since I've studied the 9 Universe tablet. I have many questions within. Today I'll use 1 chance. Luo Feng walked in the alley, very quickly arriving at the main street. The second chance, no rush, I'll think about it in the future. He moved as fast as lightning. Very quickly, he arrived at the entrance of the city leader's residence. The area it took up was huge and Luo Feng was familiar with it. Very quickly, he arrived at the huge and spacious secret room walkway. Following that walkway, he could see the 2 huge bronze doors. Very quickly, he arrived at the 9 Universe door. Lord Candeli. Luo Feng respectfully bowed towards the 3-eyed old man guarding the door. Yes. Kandri smiled and nodded. He then closed his eyes slightly and opened them a moment later. Not bad, you've improved a lot. You now have 2 chances to comprehend it. I'm prepared to use it once. Luo Feng emphasized. You're in luck. There's no one in the secret chamber right now. Candeli smiled and pointed at the huge bronze door behind him. With a rumbling sound, the bronze door slowly opened. The thick chaos energy revolved within, causing the interior to be very blurry. Luo Feng, however, was filled with glee. Thank you, Lord. Whoosh. Luo Feng rushed into the training room. Inside the secret cultivation room, primal chaos energy swirled around a huge primal chaos tablet. Every chance to study it is very precious. Even though there are many people in Primal Chaos City, and occasionally I have to queue up to enter, there are times when it's just me. Luo Feng immediately rushed before the 9 Universe tablet, his gaze landing on the first picture on the tablet, the raindrop picture. The 9 drops of the raindrop picture were infused with unbelievable power, immediately absorbing Luo Feng's consciousness within. At this time, Luo Feng's 3 bodies were all immersed in the raindrop picture. Every single raindrop within their minds began to form many different concepts. Only the first raindrop, to Luo Feng, it no longer held any mysteries. He had already completely seen through the first raindrop's essence, peeking into its essence. The raindrop picture had a total of 9 concepts. Normal warriors studying the raindrop picture, as long as they understood the concept and were able to unleash it, it would mean they had passed. However, what Luo Feng needed to do wasn't that. He needed to truly see through the essence. Just like a test, there were normal questions and additional questions. Getting the normal questions right would give him 100 points. Getting the normal questions and additional questions all right would give him 150 points. Normal warriors, their comprehension of the raindrop picture's 9 drops would all reach the 100-point level. Right now Luo Feng's comprehension of the raindrop picture's other 8 drops was around 90 points. Only the first drop had reached 150 points. The raindrop picture's 9 drops, if one's comprehension reached a certain level, one would normally be able to pass the first 3 levels. Luo Feng's 8 drops were close to passing. 1 drop could be considered perfect. What I need to do now isn't to rush and study the drizzle picture, but to train the raindrop picture's 9 drops to a perfect level. Luo Feng was very clear on what he needed to do. His consciousness under the 9 Universe tablet's guidance, Luo Feng's comprehension of the raindrop picture continued to surface. As he comprehended it, he couldn't help but smile. Come out. A voice resounded in his mind. Come out. Come out. Come out. Come out. The voice wasn't loud at first, but within his mind, it reverberated and stacked, getting louder and louder, causing Luo Feng to wake up from that mysterious state. He could only grit his teeth and fly out regretfully. What a pity, it's time again. Outside the training room there were already 3 people waiting. It's a pity. It would be good if I could stay longer. Luo Feng walked on the streets outside the city leader's residence, feeling unsatisfied within. The feeling of studying the 9 Universe tablet was simply too wonderful. Different from the usual times when he would wake up from fatigue, he didn't feel any fatigue in front of the 9 Universe tablet at all. He didn't even have to actively study it. As long as he was guided in by the 9 Universe tablet, he would be able to comprehend a lot. Right now, the other 8 concepts of the raindrop picture I should be able to pass. Luo Feng thought, if it was 90 points before, now all 8 should be 100 points. However, my target is to get 150 points for all 9. Luo Feng smiled. The higher he went, the harder it got. The additional questions of the exam were much harder than the normal questions. The same logic, understanding the essence and just using it, the difference in difficulty was huge. Breathe in. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. He hadn't felt so relaxed in a long time. Looking at the distant sky, the many space crevices, the crystal threads, the complicated large amounts of engravings intertwined and revolved. The universe was a huge being, its own revolving laws were revealed to Luo Feng and the others. However, even after it was revealed, comprehending it would still take a very long time. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Finally, I'm finally going to break through? Luo Feng became a blur and rushed back to his own resting room not far from the city leader's residence. Luo Feng's internal world. On the vast metal continent, the golden horned beast that was like a black mountain range and the Masha clansman black-clothed Luo Feng were both looking at the sky with glee. I'm finally going to break through. I'm finally going to break through to the Domain Lord level. From Universe Level 9 to Domain Lord, a normal evolution would take about 500 years. Sometimes it would take 100 years more, sometimes it would take 100 years less. It wasn't an absolute number. And Luo Feng relied on the most optimal metal combination to quickly push the internal world to expand, hence the efficiency was raised by 56 times. In theory, Luo Feng should have broken through when he entered Primal Chaos City for 7 to 8 years. However, he was a whole 3 years late. Firstly, the evolution did indeed take up more time. Secondly, it was Luo Feng's fault. As Luo Feng had been training hard these past 10 years, the three bodies would often study at once. The next time they would wake up, it would be 1 to 2 months or even 3 to 4 months. The internal world needed to swallow metal. It was like eating. It had to be eaten frequently. For example, if a normal person starved for 3 days, they wouldn't be able to eat 3 days worth of food in one go. One theory. The internal world could normally swallow at most once and it could last for about 1 to 2 months. However, if Luo Feng used 3 to 4 months to study at once, then he would wake up and let the internal world swallow the metal, it would at most last for 1 to 2 months. This would cause the evolution speed to slow down. Luo Feng's origin law study was extremely important, and Babata didn't dare disturb him at such a crucial time. Naturally this happened. And whether it was Luo Feng or Babata, they were both very clear. These 30 years in Primal Chaos City were extremely important, they had to give it their all. As for the Golden Horned Beast's evolution being delayed by 2 to 3 years, that was a small matter. Studying the origin laws was a huge matter. Rumble, countless amounts of golden mist entered the continent, the metal continent constantly expanded, large amounts of land plates were formed, the entire continent took a long time to completely form. Everything went silent. The internal world's evolution was a success. From the 9,000 kilometers length and width before, it immediately grew to 100,000 kilometers. The core within Luo Feng's body. Within the core, the Whirlpool Galaxy was beautiful and resplendent, and the core of the Whirlpool Galaxy was that huge black hole. On the 8 spiral arms were 8 small black holes too. When the internal world's evolution was complete, immediately the Whirlpool Galaxy began to undergo a shocking change. Rumble. The center black hole, the spiral arms and the 8 black holes swallowing power rose fiercely, the surrounding stars were madly swallowed, especially the center black hole that constantly grew bigger and bigger. Gradually, even the 8 small black holes beside were affected by the gravitational pull and drew closer. Swallowing. The center black hole swallowed everything it could, growing bigger and bigger. Gradually, the 8 small black holes were all swallowed in. After a while, the Whirlpool Galaxy completely disappeared, leaving only the huge black hole. Rumble. The gigantic black hole suddenly began to collapse inward, and the entire black area within the original core began to shrink at a speed visible to the naked eye. This sort of collapse of a black hole was simply terrifying. In the blink of an eye, the entire black hole collapsed and disappeared. At the same time, a gray sphere appeared in the center of the original black hole. The gray ball, almost like a snake shedding its skin, a layer of gray outer shell immediately fell off. This round gray outer shell actually constantly expanded, bigger and bigger. The gray outer shell continued to grow, until it was the same size as the entire core, after which this gray outer shell actually silently and completely merged with the core, causing Luo Feng's core, the core, to undergo a special change. As the core changed, the two great bodies within the internal world, the Golden Horned Beast and Masha Clansman, simultaneously began to evolve. Like a black mountain range, the Golden Horned Beast slowly extended its scaled wings. At the same time, its entire body began to undergo a shocking change. Large amounts of golden mist descended from the skies of the continent, enveloping the Golden Horned Beast's scales, constantly being absorbed. The black scales could be seen to the naked eye slowly growing larger. Its bones were thickening and growing longer, becoming denser. Its claws became thicker and sharper. Almost like an armor covering its entire body, the golden engravings grew along with the Golden Horned Beast's body. Not just its outer appearance, the changes within the Golden Horned Beast were even more shocking. Every single cell and bone had undergone a heaven-shattering change, its innate structure had undergone a metamorphosis. Universe level to Domain Lord, that was a leap in the body's fitness level. Howl. The Golden Horned Beast raised its head, letting out a carefree howl. Not far away, on the surface of an incredibly complex golden engravings, a black life crystal was revolving. This was the true form of the Masha Clansman. The Masha Clansman's main form was this life crystal. The energy produced by the life crystal allowed it to transform into anything it wanted. The evolution of the Masha Clansman was actually the evolution of the life crystal. Different life forms, different evolutions. Flesh and blood life forms mainly evolved the body and soul at the same time. And energy life forms were the evolution of the life crystal. And the core of the Masha Clansman was the life crystal. As it trained, the life crystal would absorb energy and gradually change its body. Just like the evolution of the human body, the life crystal would become more and more indestructible. However, the Masha Clansman's evolution also had a bottleneck. It required willpower, life crystal, genetic energy and many other aspects to break through. However, Luo Feng's Masha Clansman was different from normal Masha Clansman. Because the core of the Masha Clansman wasn't the life crystal, even if it was destroyed, it could be regenerated. Luo Feng's 3 bodies weren't important. His core was the core. As long as the core wasn't destroyed, he wouldn't die. The moment it was destroyed, all 3 bodies would die. Right now the core's soul had already broken through to Domain Lord level 1. Hence, the 3 clones could all train to Domain Lord level 1. The only troublesome thing was the body's limitations. Earth's body evolution was slow, but the life crystals had an unlimited supply of energy. The golden horned beast's evolution was the fastest of them all. Ding! Several hours later, the spinning black life crystal let out a faint sound. The life crystal core had shrunk by one size. Ho-ho! Large amounts of black energy flowed out of the life crystal and formed a person. The black-clothed Luo Feng. Primal Chaos City, LuoFeng's resting room. Domain Lord. LuoFeng's eyes gleamed. No wonder there aren't any domain lords among the slaves sold. When a universe level stepped into the domain lord level, the galaxy would be completely swallowed by the black hole and the huge black hole would collapse to form a singularity, which was the gray ball that appeared in LuoFeng's core earlier. At this point he would be considered to have stepped into the domain lord level. Although the oddity was extremely small, it was extremely heavy. By right. As an extremely small point that swallowed countless galaxies to form, within it, it would gradually nurture a world. This nurturing process would go from domain lord level 1 to domain lord level 9. When the nurturing process was complete, there would be a fundamental change and the nurtured world would become a true world. At that time it would be a sector lord. A sector lord's body would truly form a world. With a wave of his hand he would be able to use the world energy. And the sector lord's world would allow humans to live in and store things etc. It would be similar to a real world. The golden horned beast's internal world had been there since the golden horned beast was a cub. However, any life forms or items that entered would be digested. If too much was placed in and it couldn't be digested, the entire space would explode. The golden horned beast's internal world would constantly grow. Only when it became a sector lord would the golden horned beast's internal world have a fundamental change. Only then would it allow humans and items to be placed in. Right now, it would only allow LuoFeng's own body to enter. The golden horned beast's talent is heaven-defying. Its inherited memories are even more shocking. Its lifespan is 10 times that of a human sector lord. However, for generations of golden horned beasts to become undying, it's extremely difficult. Most of them are sector lord pinnacle even when they die. Luo Feng understood one reason when the core evolved to domain lord. One had to know. Sector lords to become undying, one had to break the shackles of the internal world and merge with the space shards in the universe, forming a truly stable and powerful space, the God country. Breaking the shackles. This was the shackle, the singularity. The singularity would grow stronger and stronger as one's strength grew. Hence, breaking it was extremely difficult. However, for the golden horned beast, it was 10 to 100 times harder than a human, because the golden horned beast was born with a singularity, the core. The moment the golden horned beast was born, the core would form an internal world. Hence when Luo Feng became a domain lord, the internal galaxy became a black hole and collapsed into a singularity. This singularity began to shed its shell and merge into the core. As time passed, the two would completely merge as one, because they were originally the same. After merging, the core would be even more sturdy, much sturdier than a normal human singularity. The domain lord level 1 golden horned beast's internal space is already 100,000 kilometers long. Luo Feng exclaimed, when it reaches sector lord, what will it be like? The bigger the internal space, it was a good thing. However, it also meant that the core that held the internal space was even sturdier. When Luo Feng reached sector lord level 9, facing the unshakable core, he would know how helpless the previous generations of golden horned beasts were. Breaking the shackles, merging the internal world with the external space to form the God country, that's only the last requirement to become undying. There are many other requirements ahead. Luo Feng shook his head. Becoming undying, I'm only a domain lord right now, I'm still far from that. I'll slowly train. The creator of floating blood, Lian Luo, didn't even take 100,000 years to become undying, and was even given the title of official. Don't tell me, I have 10 times the lifespan of a human sector lord and still can't become undying? Thinking about it, Luo Feng laughed. Life, there was only one core, one internal world. Luo Feng's 3 bodies shared one core, shared one internal world. One for all, one for all. Master, someone has come to visit. An electronic voice resounded within the training quarters. Luo Feng stood up and walked out of the resting room, heading to the living room to open the door. Outside stood a tall lady dressed in a black robe, her eyes purple. Black-robed emissary? Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng, congratulations on passing the 3rd level of the heavenly bridge. The black-robed lady smiled. In our primal chaos city, as long as one passes the 3rd level, it means that one's comprehension of the primal chaos tablet is considered to have crossed the threshold, and one has the right to listen to the Absolute Warrior's lectures. This is information on the 18 founders of our primal chaos city's 9 universe sect. You can go listen to any one of them. Saying that, she handed over a finger-thick black cover book. Thank you. Luo Feng received it. Let me remind you, even though you can listen to any one of them, it's your first time listening. Who you choose is very important. The black-robed lady emphasized, I believe the details are in the book, I won't say much. Luo Feng nodded. After which, he watched as the city leader left. Listening to the lecture? There was no rush now. After all, he had bitterly studied for 10 years, breaking through 2 levels in one go, plus he had just broken through to the domain lord level. Such a joyous moment. Luo Feng really wanted to share it with his family, his eyes filled with anticipation. It's been a while since I've seen my family, it's time to spend some time with them. Virtual Universe Network, Ganwu Continent. Ganwu Continent's Dream Card City was an extremely large city, 10 times larger than the Black Dragon Mountain Island. Ping Hai Company was one of the larger scale companies in Dream Card City, able to rank within the top 100. Ping Hai Company's office building, 86th level meeting room. How do you do? It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Luo. It's my pleasure too to meet the Virtual Universe Company's Gangwu Continent Bo Te Lai. Dressed in a red tang dress, Su Xen was shaking hands with a tall man with a sharp nose. On both sides of the meeting table sat the upper echelons of both parties. Accurately speaking, it's Bo Te Lai's vice director. The sharp-nosed man smiled. Haha, I believe Mrs. Luo won't have any pressure during this meeting. Your husband is a core member of the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, your Ping Hai Company becoming one of our subsidiaries, it'll be very beneficial for you. Su Xen smiled. My husband, even though he's a major shareholder of the company, everything is up to me. If Mrs. Luo has any thoughts, feel free to speak. Bo Te Lai smiled. Everyone speak freely, everything will be easier to discuss. Firstly, this company has to be controlled by me. Su Xen emphasized. Mrs. Luo. Bo Te Lai smiled. You should know, our Virtual Universe Company buys many companies with potential, we have to form a controlling stake in your company. At the very least, 51% of the shares must be held. I understand, I'm only saying the company has to be managed by me, you can't interfere with the company's operations, you can only share the profits etc. Su Xen said. Ah. Bo Te Lai nodded. Continue? I believe you know that too. Su Xen smiled. Our Ping Hai Company has three main businesses. The main business is restaurant chain management and financial investments, the third is real estate. Just my brother Luo Hua alone, the Universe First Bank once sent people to poach him, you should know how profitable this is. Ping Hai Company's financial investments, I'm very clear. Bo Te Lai smiled. This is also the reason why we're giving you 6 times your net worth. No, I need 12 times. Su Xen looked at Bo Te Lai. I believe Mr. Bo Te Lai should understand that our Ping Hai Company's restaurant chain cannot be replicated. 12 times definitely not. Bo Te Lai shook his head. Mr. Bo Te Lai. Su Xen was about to continue. She suddenly lowered her head to look at her wrist. The small screen displayed a message. She couldn't help but reveal an excited smile. You finally know to go home.